Hey everybody, I'm here today to talk about some recent news regarding to 𝗕𝗓𝗏𝗪, the direct-to-consumer genetic testing company. We've been following them for a little while, and in March of 2025, they filed for Chapter 11 bankruptcy protection. This follows really a period of significant financial strain for the company, a decline in demand for its core services, some leadership challenges, and also the fallout from a substantial data breach that impacted over 6 million users, customers of 𝗕𝗓𝗏𝗪. In their bankruptcy filing, the company listed assets in the range of $0 to $50,000 and liabilities in the range of $1 to $10 million. They are reporting a shortage of cash and the inability to meet its financial obligations as they come due. Before we go any further, I want to emphasize that Chapter 11 bankruptcy does not mean that the company is out of business. It just means that they have filed for court protection as they try to get through some significant financial challenges. 𝗕𝗓𝗏𝗪 says that it intends to continue operating normally while it tries to sell substantially all of its assets. But one of the biggest questions that people have following this announcement is what will happen to all of the genetic data that 𝗕𝗓𝗏𝗪 has collected from more than 15 million customers worldwide. The company's privacy policy states that in the event of bankruptcy, merger, acquisition, reorganization, or sale of assets, customer information, including sensitive genetic data, could be accessed, sold, or otherwise transferred as part of that transaction. 𝗕𝗓𝗏𝗪 did state that any potential buyer would be required to comply with its existing privacy policies and applicable laws concerning the treatment of customer data. But this is not much of a comfort to many people. Earlier this month, 9 state attorney generals sent a letter to 𝗕𝗓𝗏𝗪 expressing their concerns about the impact that the bankruptcy filing could have on the privacy and security of genetic data of consumers. They requested that 𝗕𝗓𝗏𝗪 notify consumers that they may have until May to delete their data from the platform if they wish to opt out before a potential sale of the company's assets. So what happens next? Well, the future of 𝗕𝗓𝗏𝗪 will now be decided by a court-supervised sale process. The company hopes to complete the sale by June and to use the proceeds to pay off its debts and potentially provide some money to its shareholders. Whoever ends up buying 𝗕𝗓𝗏𝗪 will obviously get access to its extensive genetic database, but they will also have to take on a lot of responsibility in terms of safeguarding that data and complying with all of the applicable privacy laws and regulations. We will continue to follow this story and bring you updates as they become available. If you have any questions about this video, please leave them in the comments below. And as always, thank you so much for watching. Take care. Hey everyone, it's me, and this is a breaking news alert. 𝗕𝗓𝗏𝗪, the direct-to-consumer genetic testing company that makes it possible for anyone to determine their ancestry and get health insights from a DNA test, has filed for bankruptcy. The move comes as no surprise given the company's recent announcement that they would be laying off 20% of their staff and the closure of their therapeutics development programs. But it's the reason why they filed that is fascinating. The company cites increased operating costs, a challenging and competitive market, and the fallout from a major data breach as the key reasons for their financial distress. In late 2023, the company disclosed that the data of approximately 6.9 million users was part of a larger data breach that also impacted ancestry. That incident led to multiple lawsuits and likely contributed to a loss of consumer trust in the company. 𝗕𝗓𝗏𝗪 had hoped to diversify its revenue streams beyond direct-to-consumer genetic testing services. The company pursued several initiatives, including a personal genome service that offers ancestry and health reports, a telehealth service through its subsidiary Lemonade Health, and a research services division that leverages its vast genetic database to collaborate with pharmaceutical and research institutions. However, despite these efforts, the personal genome service remains the largest contributor to the company's revenue, suggesting that while multiple pipelines were in place, the company remained heavily reliant on consumer genetic testing. And this made them vulnerable to shifts in demand and privacy concerns. In a statement, The company said, "This was a difficult decision and is the result of a thoughtful review process undertaken by our board. This is the best path forward to maximize value for our customers, employees, and other stakeholders. Under Chapter 11 bankruptcy, 3 intends to continue operating while it seeks a sale of substantially all of its assets through a court-supervised process." But what happens to your DNA data when a company files for bankruptcy? According to reports and the company's privacy policy, in the event of a bankruptcy, merger, acquisition, reorganization, or sale of assets, customer information, including sensitive genetic data, could be accessed, sold, or otherwise transferred as part of that transaction. In a recent letter to state attorneys general, 3M's chief legal officer said, "Any such successor would be required to comply with our existing privacy policies and applicable laws concerning the treatment of customer data, but experts note that current privacy regulations, particularly at the federal level in the United States, are limited in how they define and protect direct-to-consumer genetic data." In response to the bankruptcy filing, several state attorney generals, including those from New York, Pennsylvania, and Illinois, have urged 3M users to consider deleting their data from the platform. Given these serious risks and uncertainties about 3M's future, I am writing to inform you that you should consider deleting your account and genetic information from 3M as soon as possible, wrote New York Attorney General Letitia James in a letter to 3M customers. The outcome of this bankruptcy proceeding will likely set important precedents for how sensitive genetic information held by direct-to-consumer testing companies can be handled in cases of financial distress and changes in ownership. This is a breaking news alert. We will continue to follow this story and bring you updates as they become available. If you found this video helpful, please like and share. Your support helps us continue our work. Thanks for watching.